Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Wednesday, wherever you are. Yes, middle of the week is here. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime, and I hope that you get to enjoy this lovely day. And of course, before then, we have a book to enjoy together. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, please let me know where you're joining in from. And of course, if anybody else is joining in with you, why not? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I hope that you had a wonderful Tuesday, and I hope that your Wednesday is even better. Thank you so much for joining in. And we do have a wonderful book coming back to Storytime after a while, and this one is called They Call Me Mx. So join in for this one coming right up, and it is written by Lourdes Rivas, illustrations by Alicia Arellano, and illustrations by Breena Nuñez, and then translation into Spanish by Alicia Arellano. And this one is coming to you very shortly. Thank you so much. And of course, a big thank you as always to Lourdes Rivas for allowing us to read this book here on Storytime and to share this powerful message that it carries in here. Thank you so much for joining in, and always a pleasure to be here with you. And of course, as you know, too, lots and lots of activities happening here on Storytime, guests coming through, and we're looking forward to that. We kick off with tomorrow when we do have our guest Edward Pico, who'll be here with us, joining us from England, and he'll be here with his book, The Chicken with Pink Toes. And as you can see there too, he has many other books that he's written. So we'll be talking about that, and of course we'll be reading and enjoying the book. So join us tomorrow as Edward Pico comes to Storytime Live tomorrow, same time. So on Friday, we have two other creators that will be joining us, and of course they have done Albert in the Air, and they'll be here on Friday. Jerome Pumphrey and Monica Wesolowska. So join us and come and have fun with us, and also learn a little bit more about what this book is all about, what their work is all about, and what other works they have done. A wonderful lineup this week that we have. Powerful books, beautiful books, and of course here for us to enjoy and learn from. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Please let us know where you're joining in from, and of course if anybody's joining in with you, so we can say hello to them as well. Many books as we continue to celebrate Pride this week, and of course, yes, the right for all to exist and thrive. Yes, as we share these stories, we send love to our LGBTQIA plus family and condemn the increasingly visible violence and legislation against the queer and trans community. We celebrate the rights of all to love and to live authentically. Yes, tell your truth, live your truth. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Nathan and Sarah in Smoky, Illinois today. I hope everything is okay. I've not listened to the news yet or checked out the news this morning, so I could be I'm out. I'm not in the loop of what might be happening. Hopefully not crazy fires going on or something like that. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Between our drought conditions and now our air quality, the best place to be is inside with books and stories. Silver lining for sure. Thank you so much for joining in, and we hope that air quality improves very soon. Thank you so much for being here with us. As always, Sarah and Nathan, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And of course, Amanda West, thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Extra hugs for you out there in Illinois today. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. They call me Mx, coming up very shortly. So get ready for this one. Get comfortable, get cozy, go grab what you need to make this story time even better. Thank you so much for joining us today on Story Time. And I'll see you on the other side of this short message when we're back for more Story Time. Thank you for being here with us today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I am a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids #book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Lamada. Bye, everybody.
Thank you and welcome back. Thank you indeed, Amanda Davis, for that powerful message this morning. Yes, more inclusive stories. Tell your stories, and may you always have the freedom to live your truth. Here we go. They call me Mx. And this one is a Spanish-English bilingual book. So if you get it, you're able to practice your Spanish, or indeed, if you're just beginning to learn, it's one of those to have. Here we go. They call me Mx. Written in English and Spanish by Lourdes Rivas. Edited in Spanish by Alicia Arellano. Illustrated by Breena Nuñez. And a big thank you to Lourdes Rivas for allowing us to read their book here on Storytime. They call me Mx. Oh, my pages are stuck together. Sorry about that. This book, books we read here in Storytime are all dedicated to you. But Mx Lourdes here had dedicated this one to every student that they had ever worked with. In San Francisco, and here in Oakland, and of course close by in Berkeley. Boy or girl? Boy or a girl? Are you a boy or a girl? How can you be both? Some days I am both. Some days I am neither. Most days I am everything in between. Before I was born, my mom had two different names ready for me. Daniel and Lourdes. I would be Daniel like my Tio if they decided I was a boy, and Lourdes like my Tia if they had decided I was a girl. Both names come from my mom's siblings in Mexico. Lourdes. When I was born, everyone decided and agreed that I was a girl, so they named me Lourdes. As a kid, I never felt like just a girl. I never felt right knowing everyone was deciding and agreeing that I was a girl. I also didn't feel like just a boy. I knew in my heart that I could never choose one or the other. I knew in my heart that I wanted to be free every day, to just be me without thinking about choosing only girl or only boy. I always felt like a little of both. I wanted people to believe me. I wanted people to celebrate me. I imagined myself like a book. My outside cover told only one part of my story. Inside, I was bursting with imagination. Even though I knew this, I still didn't know how to explain it to anyone else but myself. So I went on agreeing with what others called me. Agreeing with others was like ignoring my heart. Ignoring your heart makes everything very difficult. You should never ignore your heart. Hmm. Agreeing with others was like ignoring my heart. Ignoring your heart makes everything very difficult. You should never ignore your heart. Have you ever noticed how almost everything is divided into boys and girls? People create categories because they think it makes life easier. This kind of thinking is binary. It's either one or the other. Hmm. But when it comes to people, especially people like me, gender categories like boy and girl make so many things difficult. What should I do? Where do I fit in? Where can I fit in? Here, we are transgender. We are not one or the other. We flow free like water in a river. We are non binary. We are not just girls. We are not just boys. We're both and everything in between. Everything makes sense. I understand more of who I am. I can share how I feel now. This is your community. Mm, yeah. We continue to have spaces like this. I learned it's okay to disagree with everyone who looks at me and says, I am a girl. It's okay to say, I'm not just a girl or just a boy. I am both and everything in between. Instead of she, you can just say my name or use they. Go ahead, try it. Many people understand that my gender is something for only me to decide. They ask what I would like to be called. They learn to use non-binary words for me like they or just my name. They support me. Many people understand that gender is something for only me to decide. They ask what I would like to be called. They learn to use non-binary words for me like they or just my name. They support me. And some people cannot understand how it is possible for me to disagree with them and decide on my own gender. They continue saying, I am a girl. They continue using the pronoun she for me. Sometimes they even use hurtful words towards me. They disregard how I feel and what I need. Hmm. I stay away and try to ignore them. I stay away and try to remember that they have some learning to do. I stay away and try not to let it bother me too much. Thankfully, I met and made friends with other smart, talented, and beautiful non-binary people. We get together and do fun things like have barbecues, play games, build bonfires, go camping, go on bike rides, watch movies, make art, attend protests, create films, take pictures of each other, dance a lot, cook food together. Yeah. We listen to each other. We believe each other. We celebrate each other. I grew up and became a teacher. I am a non binary teacher. I teach my students about respecting all genders. We practice with each other. Powerful indeed. I teach my students that non-binary people look, dress, and sound all kinds of different ways. I teach my students that it's okay to change and play with words to make them fit us. My students learn to call me Mx Lourdes because I am a mix. My students learn to call me Mx Lourdes because I am a mix. And you too can decide for yourself. If you ever feel in your heart that you don't agree with what people say you are, remember that there are many of us out there cheering you on. Speak your truth. Live your truth. Being transgender is being free. Being transgender is fearless. Being transgender is beautiful. And that is the end of our story. And there's Mx Lourdes up on the top, and Breena Nuñez, the illustrator. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime for this powerful, powerful book. And when we come back, we get to read the note to the reader of this book. So join me on the other side of this short break when we're back for more Storytime.
Hi, I'm Georgianne Irvine from the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, and I am the author of our newest hope and inspiration book, Teaching Tornero, the True Story of a Sloth Superstar. And I'm going to be reading this book to you on Storytime with Mr. LaMotta. I'm very, very excited. I think you're going to love getting to know Tornero. He's a very special sloth.
Welcome back, and thank you indeed, George. I hope that you enjoyed Tornero when we had Tornero here on Storytime, and of course, learning about the San Diego Zoo and all the amazing work that they're doing out there. Thank you so much for joining in. And you know, if you're in San Diego, well, be sure to visit the San Diego Zoo. Thank you so much for joining in. And we were reading today this powerful book. They Call Me Mx. Now let's read the note to the reader, or the author's note. And they do say, for the past 5 years, well, a lot longer now, I've been teaching kindergarten. If you know anything about kindergartners, you know they are endlessly imaginative and curious about the world around them. And they soak up everything we teach them, whether implicitly or explicitly. I witness the strong and very binary ideas kids have around gender every day. They almost always ask, are you a boy or are you a girl? In no way is this a story about all transgender people. In no way is this a story about all binary people. This is simply my story. I wrote it out and pursued its publication so I can use it in my classroom to bring back imagination and possibility to the way kids approach and think about gender. Pronouns can be as personal to someone as their name. One should never assume to know a person's pronoun, just like we don't go around assuming we know people's names. It's okay to ask. If someone shares their pronouns with you, don't question them. Thank them for sharing and use those pronouns in the same way you would use their name after meeting. It's okay to reimagine a whole new pronoun for yourself. Play with it and leave your truth. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Powerful, powerful words coming there from Mx Lourdes, and yes, a beautiful story that we've shared today. I hope that we've learned something. I hope that it gives us that extra thought into the day as we're moving on, and something that something to think about. And of course, knowing too that we are part of a community, and we help build community. We help build spaces that are welcoming to everybody, right? And so let us continue to check ourselves, to reflect on what we do, and also to learn from our neighbors and allow people to tell their stories. I think that's the powerful thing. And just like Mx Lourdes says in here, like, this is not a story for representing everyone that is non-binary. No, this is Mx Lourdes' story. So tell your story, live your truth. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Always appreciate being here with you all, learning together, and of course, just enjoying the company. Thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time. Appreciate you. One more time, let us see who is with us this morning. Thank you for joining in. Nathan and Sarah out there in Illinois, sending you love. Thank you for being here with us on Story Time. I hope you enjoyed the story, and of course, looking forward to many, many more Story Times together. Thank you so much for joining in. Amanda West, thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time. Good morning to you, Ari and Megan. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time out there in Kentucky. Thank you for being here, and I hope that you enjoyed the story that we had for you today. They call me Mx. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Absolutely appreciate you. Sunny out there in Kentucky today. Thank you for sharing, and I hope that you get to enjoy some outdoor time as well. Hopefully not smoky like Illinois today. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Appreciate you, and good to see you here with us. Good morning to you, Soraya, the sticky spider. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. And of course, good morning to you, Sharon Lungo, as well. Happy summer indeed. I hope that it is going well. I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you for being here with us on Story Time. It promises to warm up. Really, they say we will have some summer weather out here in Oakland, so hopefully that happens pretty soon. Thank you so much for joining in. For now, enjoy this winter-like weather out here in an Oakland summer. Thank you so much for joining us on Story Time. This has been Story Time for today. Tomorrow we're back, and we will be reading The Chicken with Pink Toes. This one is written by Edward Pico, who'll be our guest tomorrow, and then of course illustrated by Molly McGregor Kennis. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. I hope you're ready for this one. Join us tomorrow and see what is happening. And as we said before too, we will be having Edward Pico here on Story Time, joining us with his book, The Chicken with Pink Toes, joining us tomorrow. So come on out and have fun with us. He'll be here joining us directly from England. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll have creators of Albert in the Air, and that is Jerome Pumphrey and Monica Wesolowska. So join us tomorrow and Friday with our special guests. Thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time. And yes, we continue to celebrate Pride and continue to create spaces that are welcoming to all. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Appreciate the time we spent together. Appreciate the time that you spend here with us. You choose to spend here with us on Story Time. We appreciate you. Please keep sending us your recommendations. Let's keep learning together. Let's keep growing together. Thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time. I'll see you again tomorrow when we're back for more Story Time and a very special guest with Edward Pico and his book, The Chicken with Pink Toes. Much love from me, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. We're different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of the stories. Read me all of the stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh. He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.